Yo, what's up, everybody? Good morning and welcome to the Morning Market Report. Check it out. We got green. We had some PPI data come in. Some of it good, some of it bad. Year over year actually came in higher than expected. So we have to ask the question, is inflation back? Did they cut too soon? It's a legitimate question to ask when you see this type of inflation data come in. We should not be seeing this after a 50 basis point rate cut. That means, hey, we beat the inflation, right? So did they really cut because they were in line for a soft landing, or did they cut because they were worried about what was going to happen to job numbers? I think it's probably the latter. We're going to discuss that today and take a look at how the markets are playing out. Looking at the Russell 2000 right now, it's opening in the green. 10-year yield is up to 4.1%. The Dow, the S&P, both to the upside. NASDAQ, the only one that is down right now, and it is down just a small 0.3%. So that is how the market is opening. You can see the green there. Taking a look over at Bitcoin. Guys, we are getting a bounce off that 300-day. This is a level we talked about yesterday. We said golden pocket, 300-day, first target. That's exactly what we wicked off of and getting an upside move there. I did close my short down here in play. So that is out, and I'm sitting in the long right now, heading into the weekend. PPI data not really shaking the markets much. Matter of fact, a lot of calls for upside move, guys. We're going to be looking at a lot of stuff today. Plus, we've got special guest, the host of the #1 show on Piper Academy, Tradefly, joining us. Also, guys, we're going to be doing that and a whole lot more right here on Piper Academy. Let's get it. Morning Market Report class in session. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Morning Market Report. Thanks for joining us here. We got a lot to go over today, but let's go ahead and let's bring up. I look happy talking about inflation. I love talking about the market, the economy, man. I really do. It's not about it being inflation. I'd be happy if I could talk about the economy and everything was hunky dory and happy. But you want to know what's hunky dory and happy? It's the team that I got with me here today. Let's go ahead and bring them up here. It's the OC guy and the Tradefly. What's up, Tradefly? How you doing, bro?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm excited to be here. I love being on the morning show with you guys. Do it whenever I can. But dude, we got some people in the chat. I want to say what's up to. You know my thing. So
Oh
let's go
yeah.
ahead and start. Let's get that going. Let's get that going. Let me switch it over to live chat real quick. All right, usernames in the house. What's up, my guy? How you doing? Crux of Crypto said inflation is gonna be the death of us all. I mean, it is not set up for you to succeed. That is for sure. Bracoshi No Dinero, what's up, my guy? How you doing? Alexandra G, the best mod in the house. My SoCal lady. Hope you have a great weekend. Scrolling down a little bit more, and we have Harp in the house. How you doing, brother? Arson 246, Moho, BC Port Corp. How'd the show go today? How'd the show go today, brother? Hope all is well. Hope all is well. Go check them out. They do the pre-show for us, and they do a great job. So looks
Fantastic
like
job.
soon they might be having another show. So we'll
Two
see. We'll see.
shows.
We'll see. Waiting for that one. Mike Play, what's up, GM fam? How you doing? Scrolling down a little bit. We got Baba Yaz, Little Fish in the house. And I think that is it. And with that, I will pass it over. Oh, Kyle Fields sneaking in there late. Yo, what's up, dude? I will pass it over to OC. What's up, man?
Not much. The pencilless team, right? Well, just so you guys know, I woke up a little bit late today, and I was just like always, like at the last minute. Nonetheless, these two guys were very, very cool. And yeah, we're not that pantsless, are we?
Joey popping in behind you there. All right, let's get into the markets. Let's get into the charts, and then let's talk about some earnings calls and stuff like that. Because everything's getting upgraded. Just so you know, everything's getting upgraded. They said inflation higher. We're going higher. So actually, I think that I think we will see a pause in rate cuts because of that ugly inflation, and then I think that we're going to have some job numbers that are going to force them back on track to start rate cuts again. So I don't know, man. I don't know. Like I said yesterday, I would not want to be Jerome Powell. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. Would you take that job, Tradefly?
Nah, it'd be a hard pass for me, man. But
Hard
I would be
pass.
the
See,
president.
What
I'd be the
about
president.
what about if they offered you like, I don't know, 10 million bucks?
Yeah, I'd do that for 10 million, of course.
You'll take the Federal Reserve job and have to do it, like not just like you got to
For
do
10
well
million?
at it. You got to do
Yes.
well at it to keep the money.
Okay, I'll do my best. I
I'll do,
promise you, I will do
I'll
my
do as
best.
good as Jerome Powell. I promise you.
You pay me 10 million. Yes, sir. At your service.
Ah, good Lord. Okay, let's jump over into the news. I got to get to the news first. Let me set that up here. Got to set it up and spike. Here we go. Over to the news, guys. Let's talk about all this. All the news. It's fit to be news. Pushing those bubbles over there. Got a tidal wave going on. Let's jump over to the Fear and Greed, guys. Fear and Greed right now, giving it a refresh. It looks like we are sitting at Fear at 32. So we have a 32 right now on the Fear and Greed index. Yesterday was 39. Sitting at 32. I don't think that is the right one, is it? I don't like this one. I hate this one, actually. Let's go into, where's the other one at? TradeFly. Oh, you're muted, bro. Let me get you unmuted. Where's the other Fear and Greed? Because you gave me this one, and I don't like this one. This one doesn't work well.
Market cap. Go to that one. It on the right side on the homepage. It has a good Fear and Greed index.
On which one?
Coin market cap. Go to my screen if you can.
There you go. Let's do that.
I got you, dog. I'll do my
That's the
little
one you
spiel
gave me
that
originally, and I hate that one. So
yeah. I thought we talked about getting. You did get rid of it, and then you brought it back. So I blame you. All right, I'm gonna give you the little spiel that I give you on the crypto nightcap. So let's run through this. Total market cap currently sitting at 2.15 trillion. That is up 1.15%. 24-hour trading volume is currently sitting at 67.88 billion, which is a decrease of 0.06%. Bitcoin dominance currently at 56.57%, and that is a decrease of 0.12% over the last day. And your Fear and Greed index, right here, is sitting at 37, which is fear. I will pass it back to Piper.
bring it back like you left something. There we go. Hey, look, I found it.
There it is.
Okay.
Off your page?
Yeah. Right off my page. So taking a look here, guys, we do have the crypto bubbles coming in green on the daily here, even on the hourly, still getting some pump ups, moving to the upside. Let's jump down here and take a look at what we got. Bitcoin currently sitting at $61,600, up 1.5% on the daily. Ethereum up 2.3%, sitting at $2,400. Let's see what else we get. Any big movers? Solana's up 3.9% on the daily, sitting at $143. Dogecoin up 3%, up. Hey, look, wasn't this up like, okay, something weird's going on here. Last night, I watched your show, TradeFly, and you talked about it was up like 1.8%, and it was like 10 cents and something. Now it's at 3%, and look, 2.9%, and that didn't change at all. I don't know what's going on here. It's a little odd. I'm just going to put that out there.
Talking about Doge.
What's that?
Talking about Doge.
Yeah.
Just living at 10 cents.
Yeah, it just lives there. Toncoin sitting at up 3.7% at 500 or 500. I wish $5.21. Cardano up 4% there, sitting at 34. And let's round out any big movers in the top. Hey, look, Chainlink's up 2%. Shout out to Buck. Near Protocols
Hey,
up
do me a solid.
5.7.
Check out Polygon.
Dude, Sui 9.1% on Sui, bro. To the upside. So. Let's look at this data here, though. This is what you guys want to know about this PPI data. So PPI, this is your producer price inflation. This is the cost of goods that producers make, right? So producer price month over month came in 0%, neutral, right? They expected that it was going to be up 0.1%, consensus and forecast previously was at 2. So this, better than expected, okay? Core PPI, which if we go in here and take a look at what core PPI is, this is going to be the measure of the changes in price received by domestic producers for their output, excluding food and energy. Okay. That whenever you see core, just take food and energy out of the equation. That's what it is. That was supposed to be about 0.2% on forecasted consensus. Previously was 0.3, came in at 0.2. Met expectations better than it previously was. Core PPI year over year was previously at 2.4. Consensus was that it would be 2.7. forecasted to be 2.4, came in at 2.8, beating consensus, beating forecast, higher than the previous was. So core PPI year over year has increased big time. Okay. That is quite the jump there on that one. And then we get, our PPI here, excluding food and energy, supposed to be 0.2, actually came in at 0.1, better than expected. PPI, excluding food energy for year over year, was supposed to be 3.2, came in at 3.2, better than it previously was. So you see the data had like this one sticking point here of the core PPI year over year, and then the PPI year over year with food and energy, because it's not a core, actually came in under, but not as good as they expected. So we had a very, very mixed bag of producer price inflation today. But overall, if we look at this year over year, we are higher than what we were last year, but looking better than we were last month. It's just, it's kind of a hiccup. That's why I went ahead and closed my short, because I knew, yes, we do have higher inflation, but there's enough things that in the short term, the recent history, that make it better than what it should be, or better than what it is. This is the hopium that I needed to cut out my short. So I closed my short. I'm running only a long right now, guys. So there you go. You got Piper Bear on the thumbnail today. There's a bearish Piper on there. But today, I'm a little bullish. I have a little short-term bullishness, okay? Let's get into the bookmarks here. Let's see what the Kabisi letter says. Can I show more? Thank you. He says core inflation is now rising for the first time in 18 months. Headline PPI inflation is now rising for the first time since June. So, like I said, there were some things that were not in line with what we wanted to see, but there was enough in line to make people go, you know what, we can push through this, right? Headline PPI inflation is now rising for the first time since June. Last month's PPI inflation number was revised higher. So there's one little piece that you don't see in that chart that most people are going to miss, because they're going to be looking at, oh, let's go see what it was. Oh, bam. And so they see that, hey, this isn't as bad as they thought. But last month's producer price inflation number got revised higher. They came in, slid that on the back table, and said, oh, by the way, don't want to disturb class. Here's those numbers from last month. And then core PPI inflation is now up for 2 straight months. Last month's core PPI inflation number was also revised higher. So the PPI and the core PPI both revised higher. How did the Fed just declare victory against inflation? It looks like it's definitely back. And so that's why the thumbnail has a little bit of bearishness, and it says, did the Fed cut rates too soon? But I do think that we will get into, I do think that we have a potential for some bullishness this weekend, especially after the sell-off yesterday. People like to buy low, and they put in those orders expecting that the market would go up today. And then once it started to go up, even though people see the PPI, they're still going to ride that up and jump in on it. So it's not up a lot. It's neutral. It's about 0.15% on the S&P right now, just so you are tracking. And then let's go see what he also has here on this data. Let's go see. Breaking September PPI inflation rises to 1.8%, above that expectation of 1.6. We talked about that. Both core PPI and CPI inflation are officially now back on the rise. The Fed did not need 50 basis point rate cut. So I just wanted to show what he said there, because it was pretty interesting. Let's jump over here and see how we're looking now. Is that 18.2% there? How are you looking for rate cuts versus rate hikes in November? Looking at a 17.6% chance now of a pause, no rate cut at all. 82.4% chance that we will still see 25 basis points in November. So I did see, I put this out yesterday in the Afternoon Trade Academy. There was one of the Fed, I think it was Fed Bowman yesterday, said that one of the upcoming, so that will either be December 18th or it will be November 7th. One of the two, they are going to not do a rate cut. He would be okay with them not doing a rate cut, is what he said. So I think that it's going to be November, but it may be December. Either way, it doesn't affect the elections, guys, because this is November 7th, and by that point, the elections are done. So I will save that for I will save that heat map there for TradeFly. Let's look at this and then we'll come back and talk. MicroStrategy hit its highest level relative to Bitcoin since 2019. How to hedge it per Wolf. I'm not going to go too far into this. I just want to point out that since 2019, MicroStrategy versus Bitcoin is at its highest peak ever. Well, not ever, since 2019, like I said. While boring, Bitcoin has been chopping sideways since March. It's kind of down and sideways. MicroStrategy is now trading at its highest level relative to the flagship crypto since 2019. Wolf Research managing director said he loves MicroStrategy's chances to get out and continue climbing, but that the stock is overbought in the near term. He suggests a Bitcoin hedge, which is interesting. Let's jump back over here to the trio cam, because that's literally what I've been doing is playing Bitcoin with my MicroStrategies and moving my overperforming MicroStrategies profit into more Bitcoin positions through BitX, 2x leverage Bitcoin. So a little play that I'm running there in addition to my just raw Bitcoin holdings. So TradeFly, OC guy, thoughts on the PPI first of all. We'll go with TradeFly first, and then let's talk about MicroStrategies real fast before we jump into the Bitcoin chart. TradeFly, we'll go with you.
Yeah, so I mean, not just PPI, but let's take all of the data together, right? Because we got some important data yesterday, and with inflation and the unemployment numbers, let's take it all together. All together, it makes me more bearish to be perfectly transparent
Yeah.
with you. And
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
sure you guys caught that sentiment last night on the show. Like, we were under an important level. I did not see this bounce coming. I mean, if you were just charting, like Piper showed you earlier, it did go down to the golden pocket. So there was a potential there for a bounce, right? If you're just looking at the charts. But in terms of me taking like the fundamentals, taking everying around
You want me to pull your chart up?
No, I don't have the chart
Okay.
up right now. I was actually looking at the election.
Gotcha.
What was
Gotcha.
it? The on Polymarket. Anyways, so just talking through it, but it doesn't make me feel good about the direction we're headed. So it gives me a lot of hesitation. I think anything that is happening right now is more of a short-term scalp, intraday style type trade. I'm not feeling very comfortable with taking a long position and like a hodl position right now. I have a number that we'll look at when we get to my chart a little bit later for Bitcoin. If it does come down there, then that's something that I'll be interested in. Which I don't have up right now, so I don't know what you guys are doing over there. But
I pulled up my Bitcoin log. It's up $268, 15%. Let's go.
crushing it, man. I mean, yeah, well done. And again, I'll be very transparent in saying that like I didn't really see that coming. I saw flirting with the 382 and I think the 0.5. And there was a potential for a little bit of a bounce, but it was underneath of it. So when I was looking at it on the show, I was like, you know what? We have to wait to see what happens. Are we going to get a rejection here? Are we going to get on top of it? And once it got on top of that area, it just took off. So, but taking the data. One, it's probably not right. It's probably we're probably going to get revised numbers that are worse. And I don't know. The only thing that I can think of is we're getting to the end of October and we're going into an election. And I won't say traditionally, but if you look at the historicals, the last couple weeks of October are relatively bullish. And then especially now that we have the election on top of it, I can see us making a move based on that. But it's not based on the data, because that was not great, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it wasn't. And like I said, there's some data in there that if you're just looking at it from an investor, a mainstream investor that doesn't read a lot, you're going to look at that and go, oh, it was better. Not realizing that they revised numbers on multiple pieces, right? So, and that inflation's really not as good as what they're saying overall. That overarching inflation story is not really being told well by the government. Maybe on purpose. I don't know.
The story is being told great. Let's be clear about that. The story is
Yeah,
being
well,
told
it's
great
just not
because
being
they make
told very
you think
truthful.
that everything is good. So the story's they're doing a good job with that, right? The language, the way the perception is kind of a dovish report. But we've already talked about when you really dig into the details, it's not.
Right.
It's
Right.
really not. So
OC,
yeah.
OC, your thoughts on MicroStrategies being at the highest level versus Bitcoin since 2019? Like, is that the play? Is MicroStrategies the play right now? Whoa, easy there, sir. Is MicroStrategies the play to run with over Bitcoin right now in this current environment that we have? Like, we have people afraid of crypto. They don't really trust crypto. They've seen all the bad news stories under the sun, right? Um, but they know that they can get exposure through an ETF, or they can get exposure through MicroStrategies. I think TradeFly even talked about an article that was referencing something like that yesterday about the ETF exposure being so much safer for a lot of people. So, is MicroStrategies the play, OC? What's your thoughts?
I don't know. I mean, I think regardless what happened, Bitcoin is gonna perform better. I mean, regardless of what happens, unless something like a black swan dedicated to Bitcoin happens, like let's just say that we figure out that BlackRock owns Bitcoin or something. Like, I mean, other than that, I think regardless, Bitcoin is going to perform better. And I'm not saying that it's not going to dip. In fact, it's going to dip faster or harder than anything else, but it's going to get back faster at its previous level than anything else, right? I think like Triflight has the right idea. I mean, has the right comment there, or it's aligned with what I think, which is, I mean, the storytelling is being performed fabulous, right? So what do we do? Do we follow the storytellers? I mean, who's making history here? Are they going to be able to manipulate the data, and at the end of it all, the history or the outcomes? I don't know. I think we are on that line, but that takes me back, and I know I repeat this a lot, but that takes me back to December, right? When we were talking about, you know what, everything is just about to go to the. I mean, we're at the edge of the cliff. What do we do? I mean, and then they just keep pushing numbers better than that we know they were, right? Pushing the market sentiment, and at the end of it all, it was a cool December. I mean, it wasn't that bad. It was a cool January, and then we are where we are at this point. If I look at, for example, something like the SPX, I see just it is technically at the all-time highs, right? But is it really performing like a healthy economy? Is it really performing as those numbers should be proposing for it to perform? I would say not really. But at the end of it all, I think that, and this isn't a personal matter or a personal way, I think I'm going to be leaning a little bit more into what they want me to believe at this point, despite I know it is a lie. And that is because masses can move the market, right? And I think they're counting with it for it. You mentioned something important at the beginning of the show. Are there really what I mean? What was the purpose of that 50 basis point? And are we really seeing the result? I think that maybe this time the purpose was kind of like I just give hope, other than actually kind of like a try to rescue the markets. But
The
by giving
jobs.
hope, you're
Rescue
maybe
the jobs.
yeah. Sorry, yeah. So but what I mean is to give people a little bit more hope, right? So that will that drive might be higher than just letting guys know that, I mean, we're not performing that bad, and maybe your job and the economy might not be as bad for longer, so you might not get fired or get another job faster, right? I think hope you it's a powerful feeling. So
It is.
that's what I
It
think. I
is.
mean,
But
yeah, that's what I think.
I actually think that there is a that there was a lot of fear about the employment market, the labor market, and that's why the underlying reason. But they sold it as hope, the intent of it. But as Crux said there, he said the rising of the unemployment data is an alarming issue, and absolutely it is. That's what they need to keep under wraps, and we won't get any of those revisions until after the election. And again, convenience, so convenient, right? Um, so let's jump into the Bitcoin chart. Let's go see what's going on over there. Because as OC said, I do believe that you have to, like I've said this before, guys, we don't have to believe the data, but this is what the market movers, the investors, the sentiment investors, this is what they're going to see. It's what they're going to base it on. So whether you believe the data that comes out or not, if you know that a revision is coming or not, the data is still being sold as good, and therefore people are going to continue buying the data, right? So that is why I think you are 100% correct. Go with the flow until the people know. There's a new rhyme for you right there on the Piper Academy. Let's jump into the chart here and let's take a look at Bitcoin. What I'm seeing here, guys. All right. Again, I'm not going to make this too long because I just talked about this. This was the level we talked about yesterday. We had our little rectangle that we put in there. Where's that rectangle at? Rectangle? Nope, that's not the one. I had a little one. There was a little rectangle down there. Anyway, maybe I took it off. Who knows? Anyway, I had a rectangle on there and said this is the level right here, the 300-day moving average and that golden pocket. That's where we're going to probably get our first target bounce. That's exactly where we got it to the upside. Now looking to watch this level right here, 63,438. That is the next level that I'm watching, back to the 200-day simple moving average. Of course, right above that, we do have the value area high. That's coming in at 64.4. And you can see we got a perfect wick rejection off of that going back here on Monday of this week. So that's what I'm seeing there. Looking at the oscillator, we do have the volume starting to cut out, but the oscillator pro ribbon is getting a little flat there. Money flow still coming to the downside. Might be one more retest here that we come in and test this 50-day and 100-day before we head up there. That is very possible. If we don't hold this, then obviously, guys, we're looking at that 300 and golden pocket again. That is just how you have to play it. Take the data as it comes and move with it, just like the markets are doing. Let's go ahead and jump it over to TradeFly, see what he's seeing there on his heat map. And then let's get into some OC perspective on Bitcoin. And then we should be a little bit past the top of the hour. Guys, let us know what altcoins you'd like to see in the chat. And we'll try to get those up too.
All right, looking at the liquidity heat map on the 3-day. You can see where the hotspot is. It's getting up over 62K. I think it's more, a little closer. Where we got 62.7. All right, that's kind of where the hottest spot on the map is. And then right here at about 63. So keep that in your back of your mind here. You do have price action. Look, I mean, it's a beautiful climb up. If you're looking at price action all the way from about 58 something, what, 58, 58.9, 58.8. So, I mean, this is very, very clean, just up and right. It's not a crazy like candle that just goes straight up. It's just a nice climb up and right. So this is good. Buying pressure coming in. So let's take a look at the chart real quick. And I was looking at Tesla, so we'll have to come back to that one. We'll talk about that later. But Bitcoin on the daily. Now let's look at this. And we said right around 63K. There you go, man. That makes perfect sense, right? So that would clear out the liquidity. Then you have the point of control for the range. I believe that's, yeah, it's point of control for the range. Then you have the 0.236. If you take it from this right here, one way or another, it's going to end up lining up. But you got the 0.236, you got the 200 SMA, all acting as resistance. So you guys are in a long position. Definitely would be my exit personally, not financial advice. But that's what I would be looking for as a rejection or some kind of pullback off of that area. Might even be an opportunity for a short. So keep that in the back of your mind. 63K. All right, that's kind of where your liquidity gets cleaned out. And then 63.2, 63.1, somewhere around there is where you have confluence with a bunch of different factors here. All right, so fib retracement, 200 SMA, and the point of control all in one area. That's what I always like to look for, is confluence, right? So look for that. That's a key area for you. We did talk about this area down here. Shout out Alex O. He was looking for some bull divs on different time frames. I think the 6, the 12, and a couple others, depending on your oscillator here. So it did align with what Piper was looking at. He, I think, had the golden pocket here from one of his fibs. So there was a few things that were lining up here. When I was looking at it, we were underneath, I believe, right here last night. We were kind of retesting this area. And it was kind of a wait and see. I will say that I did have more of a bearish sentiment last night, and I'll own that one. And that was based on having negative numbers from the data And then, you know, we were just there. So there was no way that I could take a long position underneath of a significant area that I thought was being retested. But here nor there, good call by both of you. So you guys took long positions. Congrats. I was obviously wrong. That being said, so we have recovered this area. So we've kind of gotten back into a little bit of a range. You can see we've been here for since the beginning of October. So I mean that's almost a 2-week period that we've kind of been ranging in this area here. Uh, I do think this is very achievable, getting up to about 63.1, 63.2. But again, that's where we got to start reevaluating. So that's that. Again, the 200 SMA that has been a significant, you know, level for us to look at. And then if we do continue to push up, then this is one of those times where, you know, that OC retest comes into play, right? You get over a significant area of resistance, you're looking for that OC retest, something like that, and then you look for a movement up. And then this is when we have some confluence here. All right. So we have confluence. If we extend these, let me go ahead and extend this out a little bit. And then actually, it's not so much confluence, really. I mean, the price action is going to intercept this this trend line here before it actually makes it to this one. So this one takes you to 21 high, but you do get kind of I'm not going to say a double top, but pretty close to. You're going to get another retest of this area at about 66.5. So with that, you would like to see this recover a little bit, but look, what are you doing? You get that big push up, and this is, you know, I'm not saying this is going to happen in the next couple of days. If you get that big push up, you need to come down here and start looking to see where this ends up. Does it end up? That shouldn't have happened. There you go. Does it end up like right here and then shows you a trend down and right? Or does it actually recover and get a little bit further up here? If it gets a little further up here, then you feel a little bit better about it. But if you see something like this and you see a trend down, and then for me, that would be another spot where I'm like, all right, I got to start questioning things again because it's losing strength with that second push up to retest that level. So that's one thing for you to look at there. Bottom side target. If you guys are not watching the evening show, I've talked about this probably a couple times this week, but it is important to discuss is this area right here. There's a few things that are lining up for me in terms of horizontal levels of support, fib retracements, the channel that I love so much, right about 55.5, 55.6. I'm sticking with that in terms. I'm not saying it's going there. Let's be very clear. I'm not saying it's going there, but I am there waiting for price action to come down. You know my MO.
Be aware of that level.
Yeah, you know my MO. Like I will sit a long position or a short position, and I'll just let it sit there for weeks, a month, 2 months, and you know sometimes, somehow, some way, you'll get a wick down. You know, you get some crazy stuff like this, comes down, reaches that level, and then it you know it shoots off. So you know that's what I'm doing right now. I'm just being patient, kind of like fishing right now. Just got it out there, just kind of waiting casually, hoping the price action comes down there. And it doesn't hurt you. It does not hurt you to sit there and have a position just kind of waiting. So I do that quite a bit because swing trading is really my thing. When I find some areas that I have a lot of conviction in, this being one of them, I'll set a position there. 50K was it before. This is it now. So that is what I'm looking at on Bitcoin.
So question is, while you're sitting there fishing, is it a 6-pack waiting period or a 12-pack waiting period? That's
it's the morning right now, Piper. So it's a coffee period. All right.
And Bailey's, coffee and Bailey's. Got it. Understand.
Yes.
Nice. We got Bedredden in the house. He said, "Yo, what's up, Bedredden? How you doing, man? Thank you for joining us on the morning show." He hardly ever makes it because he's in the Netherlands and it's not exactly in line with his time frame over there. OC, let's jump over to your chart, see what you're seeing on Bitcoin, and then let's come back and let's knock out these alts. We got some requests in the chat there, so
Absolutely. Let's take a look at what I got here on. Perfect. So it seems like Bitcoin is going to zero. Let's take a look if that is correct. Well, first of all, we've been talking about this area for so long, right? I mean, Piper yesterday drew it. Well, it wasn't yesterday. It was, I think, one day before. So it was, and then it played out very nicely. Also, I've been looking at this area. Remember that we have a huge arrow right here, and we're expecting that to act as a big support. Nonetheless, I mean, let's just not keep the eye of where we are right now, right? I mean, we are below the dynamic reactor. We're making a push through here. Oh, look at that. SPX finally moving. All right, we'll see that in a second. We're making a push through. This looks like a Wyckoff range, right? I mean, we have coming down little range, V-shaped recovery, and then we have top of the side or upper range, lower range. Maybe this could be acting as a spring. We're breaking back into the main range, and we're making also the push through the dynamic reactor. Something to consider. We do have right now bullish divergence, but also we are below the zero line. We are below the zero line. So does that mean that we are back, baby? I said maybe not. In fact, you see me talk about this area right here, and that is because when we get to this area, and I'm going to be adjusting my analysis right here for a little bit, I think that this is going to be a ranging area. So I don't think that we're going to be going up without a fight. And also, I don't think that we're going down without a fight. So the only thing that I need to see, it is this new trend line that we just formed, being taken and broken, right? So I have a continuation. At least I want to see that little range to play it out, maybe like that, right? I mean, to range out of that trend line and then have a breakout retest, maybe have a swing failure pattern here, or something along those lines, right? But for me, this is going to be my next best friend here, this trend line. Sorry about that. So it just came out of nowhere. Let's just revisit this area right here. This has been an all drawing. Remember what I was expecting, a little bit higher of a bounce here, but it seems like ultimately it went exactly to my line here. Hopefully you guys have taken this long. But once again, it's not about the breakout. It's about the retest on this trend line. Are we safe there yet? No, until we make a breakout, retest, a continuation. So we have now another triangle being formed here, and we just need to be a little bit patient here, right? Once again, I don't want to keep being the bearish here, but I do expect, and I would love to hit the 57,800 mark. And this is because we have a huge trend line at this point, and a three-touch trend line, usually it is by book one of the strongest ones, right? And I really want a strong support to have some strong liquidity. And as we've been talking about, if we measure the movement out of that trend line breakout, well, then we'll have a absolutely great breakout, even taking previous highs out, right? For the measurement. Is this a guarantee? No, but it increases the chances. So that's what I'm looking on Bitcoin. I'm not there yet with finish this move. Still, we went to my area of entry. As you can see right here in the 15 minutes, I had a little bit of a longing here playing out. But I'm still very, very cautious, especially on a 6-hour, on a 12-hour, and on the daily. Other than that, I mean, Danger Will Robinson. We need to be careful at these market conditions, but still do not ignore what is happening in the charts. Move with more information that you have, because new information gets you where you need to get and not just speculation. Other than that, turning it back to you guys.
Looking here at A to Ace in the chat, he said, not the chart. He said, you have to take a look at SNEC, Binance listing rumor. And then he goes on to break it down a little bit more. He said, the rumor is that the Cardano Foundation told multiple tokens to refile their applications after Binance sponsored the next conference in Dubai and have a fireside chat scheduled. So maybe SNEC is going to get back on Binance. He said to pay attention. So appreciate that info, A to Ace. SNEC was definitely one of the plays that I called about a year ago. And told Jenna X, I texted her and said, hey, go look at SNEC. I think it's the next mover. And she made quite a bit of money on that one. So it would be cool to see that one come back into play again. But again, guys, it's it's one of those meme coins that money's going to flush out of something to get there. There's not a lot of retail back in yet. Let's jump over to my chart. Let's look at near, and then I believe Tradefly is coming in with AVAX after. So that leaves dog. If you want to take dog, OC guy, get the dog, get the dog. All right, man. Let's take a look at near here. Looking at the 12-hour chart, we are right now coming into the 887 here on the Platinum Pocket. We did get a bounce off the 50-day, and we have broken the 100-day, guys. If we can get inside here on the move of Bitcoin today, I would look for a retest on the 887. That's coming in at $4.71 or 77 cents, I should say. And that would be the move that I would watch for an upside. I think that you're probably looking at the 300-day and the 786 at $5.20, somewhere in that confluence range of those two in conjunction together for that target on that trade. That's what I'd watch there. We are getting the ribbon coming to the upside. It does look like the true 7 has gone flat and is starting to come back up, and money flow is starting to get a little curve here on the bottom. So it looks like right now, as long as Bitcoin continues its upside movement, that we can be looking for a break into that Platinum Pocket back up to $5.20 for near. Let's drop it over to Tradefly, take a look at what he's got, and then we'll come back around for some dog. What up, dog? Hey, you're muted. Yeah, you're muted. Not sure why. Not sure why. Mess with yours. OC, you got dog ready to go?
Absolutely.
All right.
Am I back?
I think
you are back.
I think it was such a great, perfect. I think it was such a great trade that he got speechless. Maybe we can try it back to Tradefly.
Yeah, we'll go to Tradefly.
Yeah.
Let him run with his AVAX.
It's Discord. So if I open Discord, then I have to reset Wavelink. It's a pain in the butt, man.
Interesting.
Yeah. I don't know what it is. There's something with the audio, I don't know, software. But anyways, all right, looking at AVAX on the daily. This is respecting some TA. It's kind of nice, man. So you're looking at this, you're taking your fib retracement from low to high here. And it came down to the golden pocket, and you had confluence with the 50 SMA. So this is a nice little potential entry there. But that, I would have had a little pause. I'll be honest with you. We'd have to take this down to the 4 hour and see what you're seeing there, because, if you're just looking at the RSI or the prime oscillator here on the daily, that would have been a little bit, would have made me a little nervous. So yeah, see, this tells a different story, right? You were getting the trend was going up, right? And then actually a teeny tiny hit of bullish divergence there. I would say it's actually quite larger. So I would probably go from here to here. But anyways, you got bullish divergence and interaction there with the golden pocket as well as that 50 SMA. So on the daily, so you had a lot of confluence there in that area of about $24. Now it's riding up. We're on the top side. And I talk about this a little bit on the daily. Being on the top side of this 50 SMA is a good thing. And you'll see a lot of, professional traders, people that do this for a living, they kind of live by this 50 SMA, right? Whether you're on the top or the bottom side, it gives you a good indication, almost like VWAP, of kind of which direction we should be headed, which way the trend is going. And right now we're riding the top side of that. That's a good thing. We've come up. You see a little interaction with the 0.5, stayed on top of that. So we're kind of stepping up right now for AVAX, looking pretty good. And we have talked about it. There has been some bullish sentiment revolving around AVAX. They did, that gaming narrative. I was kind of telling you, the gaming narrative sounds like they have a game that's out right now that is actually doing quite well and working quite well. So, again, that just kind of adds a little bit of a fuel to this, right? So talking about that, and then I can't remember. I think it was something it was Grayscale, if I remember correctly. They had some interesting news with them as well. That's why we had that one big pump up to about 30. We've since retraced because it was a news-based pump, obviously. But here and we're there. Price action looks good, man. We are moving up and right for AVAX, and I do like to see that. All right, so it's kind of bucking the trend a little bit. We're seeing a little bit of divergence from some of the other tokens, the projects, right? It looks pretty good. All right, so topside targets. Let's talk about that. You got a couple little areas. This is kind of an intermediate area. If you're looking at this, you see, all right, we had this rejection here, and then you can see it struggled with that area. So $28.32 or so is definitely, an area that you're probably going to see a little bit of a rejection there, I think, initially. But it's not an end all be all. Okay, I think a little closer to 30 Now you have the 200 SMA coming down, and you have a previous area of resistance. So you have a little bit of confluence here. Thing is, the 200 SMA is I'm sorry, the 100, no, 200, sorry. 200 SMA is driving down pretty hard. So now you will see this level out a little bit. I don't know how close it's going to be. I think it's probably going to come down a little bit further here, probably a little bit 29s or so. But that's probably where I would look to be like, okay, now we have to start reevaluating this, and do we look to exit a trade if we've been in it for a while, or if you're scalping intraday, you're probably going to see a little bit of rejection in that area, somewhere probably I would say around $29 to $30. You're probably going to see a little bit of a pullback, but here and over there, man, it's looking good. You would like to see the RSI or the prime oscillator kind of bend up and right a little bit, and it looks like it's trying. You want to see some of the trend kind of start working its way up and right on the daily, kind of catching up with the 4 hour. I think the 4 hour is showing us that, yeah, we're building some strength right now. Yeah, I mean, it tells such a different story, man. It's kind of funny. Look how up and right this is, man. It's probably more than 45 degrees. So, I mean, this is looking pretty nice, right? That's what you want to see. You got a little bullish divergence, and then it's just taking off. So looks good for AVAX. I'm not gonna say go all in. I think this was probably the entry to take here, but hey, it looks good. The chart looks good for AVAX. So there's kind of a high side target. If we do pull back a little bit, you got to revisit this golden pocket right around $24. I think you can get a little bounce there, and if you do get that bounce there, I think by that time on the daily, you're going to see this trending up and right. So that would give you a little bit more comfort in the fact that we could see a bounce in that area as well. So there you go. That's what I'm looking at for AVAC.
Awesome. Retro Mike Tech said, Tradefly, check your system default audio speaker and mic settings in Discord. He said every time that his monitor sleeps and he re-wakes it, Discord tries to switch audio to use the monitor instead of the system default. So you may just have to adjust your settings. So a little help from RMT there for you, man.
Man,
yeah, he is.
Our in-house technical advisor, man. I love it.
Yeah, and number one fan of the Crypto Nightcap. So OC guy, let's see what you got on your show, bro.
Absolutely. So yesterday we got a request of Doc. So I do remember that we were talking about how high could it go, because it was actually breaking throughout this triangle, and we were talking about a triangle or a maybe inverse head and shoulders. So we were right here yesterday, somewhere around this area. I would say somewhere around here or even here. I don't quite remember. But what happened, it is that we drew some predictive ranges, right? I was expecting a little bit moving here at this golden predictive range. Why? Because we have previous highs at this point, and we were close to or almost close to start hitting the tops on the oscillator. Seems like it didn't care at all. I mean, it did had a little bit of a retracement, a little bit trouble breaking through, but it was on this great timeline, right? It did not have the breakout retest, so too bad. For me, it's not I would not be chasing after the price, and I also told you guys that I'm not going to be trading dog. Nonetheless, it's been running like crazy. What else can we be doing? Maybe we can start looking at the volume at this point. We'll see, for example, okay, if I can just move this out of the way, perfect. The volume, I mean, just so you know, guys, this is the whole story of the asset, right? So it's just tiny. So making a TA in this scenario is very inaccurate because we don't have enough information, right? I mean, we can do patterns and stuff, but I mean, as Bear saying that this is going to be respecting TA, I mean, we all can see that this is going to be moving for FOMO food or whatever, anything else in the market that attaches to your feelings, it's called, right? So the next thing that I will say, it is that reaching at possible areas of resistance, maybe something like this at this point where we see the outcome very, very negative. Nonetheless, if we start also pushing up something like the Jacob Maccabees order blocks, we'll see that they are coexisting at the same zone. Does this mean that you should be buying here for the upside? So buy high to sell higher? I don't think that that's how it works, right? I mean, for me, I'd rather see a retracement, especially at this situation right here. Let's see what happened previous time that we start having a couple of those order blocks. Right? Sorry, yellow or orange boxes at the top, right, which are overbought. boxes. We did had at least a retracement. So maybe could we start seeing that little range or that retracement at this point that I was talking about? Maybe could be what would the base would be somewhere around this area. So just be patient. At this point, I would not be entering for a long at all until I see maybe the next positive flip of the ribbon at support, and then that's what I'll be aiming at this point. Remember, we are looking for maybe a range, a pennant, a micro. Let's just call it maybe a 1 hour, 30 minutes, or 15 minutes micro downwards range, which will make a bullish flag or something that indicate us that we are building a positive or a bullish pattern. Other than that, Doc, I mean, doing fantastic, doing fantastic. Hard to jump in if you didn't jump into the breakout, but that's how it goes. Sometimes you need to take the risk. Just make sure that that risk is not over the board.
Awesome. Retro Mike texted, we don't trade dogs. We pet dogs. And I agree. I agree.
Yes.
I love petting my dog. So we had a request for Caspa. We had a request for Solana. And I know TradeFly, you wanted to talk a little bit about, you wanted to talk a little bit about Tesla, because they had a little event last night that they had all over the place, and they're down a lot today. I'm just going to show you real fast here on the stock heat map. Tesla right now down 7.54% today on that big reveal news, just like Apple. Apple, they just had their big reveal on the iPhone and released all that, and you look at that, it's down 0.2% today. So let's go ahead and jump over to Caspa. And then I'm going to come back around to TradeFly for Tesla and Solana to wrap it out. And then I got one little article of Hopium for the weekend, guys, and you'll understand why I am holding my long that is currently up like $300 right now. So looking at Caspa here, guys, this was the level that we had been talking about that I said, look, we got to hold this. If we don't hold this, we're going to come down to this old trend line. This old trend line goes way back to when I was first buying Caspa at 3 and 4.5 cents. Back in here, there's the 4% range. There is the 3-cent range. This trend line is sitting right below us right now, and it is a key area of support on Caspa history. So 6.618 sitting at 12.8 cents right now. I would say that on the upside, watch for 13.7 cents. That's going to be the value area low. And then right above that, if we break that level, guys, we do have the 300-day coming in right here, previous support. Now will be our resistance coming in on confluence with the phase 7 golden pocket. And that is going to be sitting right at the price range of about 14.5 cents. So watch for, again, resistance levels, 13.7, 14.5, okay? To the downside, guys, that support level coming in at about 12.12 cents. That is going to be a key trend line that we have to hold for support on Caspa. Looking at the oscillator, we are getting a lot of bullish divergences here. We have started to go green on the oscillator ribbon, but money flow is coming down. Volume is still red, guys. So we have indicators fighting against each other down here for bullishness versus bearishness. It really can go either way at this point, but we are at a key level of support on that phase 6 golden pocket. TradeFly, let's jump it over to you and let's see what you got, bro.
He had to go away for a little bit. He mentioned on the on the Discord.
There's no TradeFly. There's no TradeFly.
There's a TradeFly for
now. You want to grab Solana real fast?
Let's do it. Or maybe I can do Adam. He also was requested Adam, or I can do the next one.
We got 5 minutes, and there was a request for I got to go through an article. So let's do Solana and take a look at that.
Perfect. Let's do Solana. So just looking for Solana, the Sol Screen. There we go. So we had a trend line here going on. Remember that this trend line was drawn based on these 2 points. Seems like it has been respecting it very, very fairly, fair enough. Let's just also update it right now for it to coexist with the rest of the TA. There we go. So remember, with the new TA, with new information, you need to update your analysis. That will give you better results, right? Once again, on the 4 hour, are we out of the blue here? Not really, but something interesting. It looks like we're forming a double bottom. Something that we need to take into consideration is going to be in the neckline of this double bottom. This is very steep in this this point in here and also coexist right with these previous highs, right? So breaking this top, which by the way looks like a flat top triangle to me with this maybe fake out, could be very, very interesting if we can make it. I mean, a measure target will be maybe be taking us somewhere around 169. I'll be more kind of like in line of taking previous highs like that. So remember that that is the measure target. If you want a smart target, go ahead and use the chart primes out of the Texans pattern there. Another thing to look at it is that we're also trying to make it push through the zero line, but technically we're bearish, right? And that is because we're still in the dump. Our prime score is very low, and we're still below the zero line, and also we are still below the dynamic reactor. So is it for sure that we are coming back? Not at all. I mean, we could absolutely be making a fake out here. We're very close to break out of the consolidation, and maybe that could be to the downside. Is it going to be to the downside? I don't think so, because of the job numbers and the rest of the economy kind of like not looking as bad as it should, right? But
Game over.
make sure you're not on the game over side, right? Just be patient here. I would be just waiting for a breakout retest, and off we go. Entering point will be somewhere around 143 for me as we break through the zero line. That will be that's
Nice.
what I got also, Lana.
Awesome. Tradefly, we already got Solana. Let's go ahead and take a look at Tesla, and we'll come back and we'll give our article of hopium for Friday before we head out. What do you got for us, bro?
Let's do it. Sorry, man. I had to go real quick. I have daddy duty. So when the kids are going nuts, I gotta fix the situation. All right, looking at Tesla on the daily, and man, this one. I mean, there's been some really key levels to look at. Yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do, man. So looking at Tesla, man, there's been a couple key levels to look at with Tesla, and it's respected TA really well. Came down to the golden pocket, and it did fall a little bit further down in the golden pocket, but check this out. I mean, this trend line has held up really well. This trend line's been on here for quite some time. If you guys have followed the channel at all, and you can see we got back over, we reestablished the golden pocket here, and then you can see the trend up and right with the RSI or the prime oscillator, right? So that was looking good, but we got another little line here. Oh no, lock your fibs. Mark Dutch, he's gonna get me. Sorry, I fixed it. So you got your trend line that's coming down and right here. All right, so you got multiple touches, very, very clear. All right, came here, and then we did get over it a little bit, but still the trend line was there, right? So if you were to take this on like a weekly or something along those lines, you would see that you didn't get a close over that. So we tried to get over the 382, we tried to get over this trend line, unsuccessful. So now you have news coming out with Tesla, right? So talking about this robo taxi and all this craziness. But look at it. I mean, they did not like that. All right, so that's a significant drop, creating a huge gap. You got under the 50. So where do you have some hopium at? You got the 0.5, you got the 200 SMA. This should provide some support. You're already seeing a little bit, right? You're seeing some buying pressure come in. People are probably liking this price on Tesla. But is that necessarily where I would enter? I mean, you could take a flyer there. But look at this, man. You got the golden pocket. You got the trend line. All that stuff still in play. That is definitely somewhere I would probably just be hanging out, waiting for some price action to come down to. But yeah, this is definitely a short-term play for sure. You could probably look for a bounce in this area based on the 200 and the 0.5 at about 208 to 202 in that range. Like I said, it kind of looks like it's already starting to play out, but you are underneath of that 50. So we just talked about that. Being underneath the 50, not ideal. Being over the 50, a little bit better. Right now, we're going to retest that area, it looks like, and then see kind of where we're going. So it got a little bit of a squeeze in this area. But if I was just hanging out, waiting for something, that would probably be right around the golden pocket there. Let me see if I actually got that back to exactly where it should be. Yeah, that about lines with the high there. Let's just double check here. I want to make sure. Yeah, and that goes all the way down. So this is like the range, the entire range, right? So this is a pretty significant fib retracement, we'll say. All right, it's a very, I won't say a large time frame, but it incorporates this whole range. So this is I'd say a pretty key area. So keep an eye on this trend line, right? Because you got 3 hits of it right now. which tells you that it should theoretically hold up. And now you have that confluence with the golden pocket. So that's what I'm looking at on Tesla. Just wanted to, show you that real quick. You're getting a big squeeze too, like a big squeeze on a very large time frame. So it's got to break. A lot of times, it's kind of hard when you have the entire range to say where we entered. 'Cause I look at that a lot. When you're looking at these big ranges and you get that squeeze, a lot of times what I look at is where did we enter from? Where was that initial entry into it? So, like, if we came from the top, then I would look at that because to me, that's showing pressure to the downside. If we came from the bottom, then I look at that to say, okay, we have potential a little bit extra, right? So, it's small percentages, but you're always trying to take a percentage chance, right? Trying to put it in your favor a little bit. That's the game we're playing. Is just trying to take a little bit of the statistical advantage there when we're trying to make an entry. So again, that's your resistance, that's your support, squeezing. We could see some pretty sporadic movement here soon for Tesla. So keep an eye on it.
For sure. Yep. Might be a good time. Overall, Tesla's a good company. They got a lot of products. They just
Yeah.
I someone in our group in our Discord yesterday, I can't remember who it was, but they said that it might be time to look at Uber, and Uber actually got a little pump today because the taxi, I guess, only has room for 2 people in it or something. I don't remember what it was exactly that they said, but Uber actually getting a pump today off of the news of Tesla's taxi robo taxi not being that great. So, but I think
I would
overall they
imagine
are.
they've done some research,
Yeah,
and I would say the vast majority of people that get in a taxi in a city are probably singles or doubles.
yep,
I'm
yep.
sure they've done the market research.
I'm sure. But I tend to when I go travel, when I use Uber the most is when I am traveling, and at that point, I tend to go travel in large groups. Like the next vacation I have coming up is in March. I'm going with me, my wife, my son. ZTS will be there, and then we're meeting up with TradeFly and his whole clan. So typically when I travel, I'm with a bigger group of people. So let's jump over and let's look at this last bit of hopium here, guys. I do have my trade still open. It's currently up about $308, 17% right now. And why am I holding it? Because here's your hopium for the day, guys. China's fiscal stimulus announcement this Saturday, this is going to be tomorrow, actually tonight, could be a market mover for Bitcoin, according to analysts. China's set to announce a fresh fiscal stimulus measure on Saturday that could inject fresh liquidity into risk assets, including cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, according to an analyst. Polymarket U.S. presidential election odds now favor Trump's winning at 55.5% over Harris at 43.7%, suggesting a Trump win could lead to a additional significant Bitcoin price increase. Bitfinex, an analyst, noted that China's stimulus plans have become a focal point even in the cryptocurrency market as fresh liquidity injected into the broader economy could benefit risk-on assets like crypto. We expect a good amount of liquidity being injected into the market and reflected across all risk-on assets, including crypto. So that is what's going on tonight. That is going to be the Saturday morning for Asia, guys. I'm going to go ahead and hold that long that I've got going on that news there. See if China pumps that stimulus in. The last one that they had, they didn't pump anymore. Kind of had a big pullback on the markets. We talked about that with the Hang Seng dropping. But we will be watching that closely tonight. And if it continues on, I will hold my long until further notice. So there you go. OC, what do you got for these people, man? Can you give them a little taste of what happens? Because we got like 50 people in here. We don't have 50 likes. So let's see if we can get those people to smash that like on the way out. And then we'll wrap it up with TradeFly's final words. So what do you got, man? What do these people get?
Absolutely. Guys, a quick special thank you for all of you guys that have joined. Please remember to click that like button. That really helps us with the algorithm. Consider also subscribing and also be very into the Discord. We have a ton of things right there for you. Always pushing new stuff, trading calls, information, and we have an amazing family and community. Other than that, a quick reminder to click that like button, because if you do, I guarantee you that you're going to find your wife's secret candy stash that is hidden within those frozen vegetables that you don't like back in the freezer. If it's not there, might be under the bed. Give it a
That's
try.
where my
Click
Snickers
that like
bars
button
are?
and you'll absolutely, they are hidden under there. Other than that, they might be also hidden within the powder baby milk. So give it a look. Maybe try it. Use your nose and also your intuition. Click that like button and find out if that helps or if that worked. Let me know the next class.
I think my wife hides my candy in the laundry room because she knows that I don't go in there unless she makes me. So there you go. Trade Fly, what do you got for the people, man?
How crazy. Yeah, so my kids, they hide their candy in the laundry room. I figured that out. So that's my my go-to spot when no one's looking.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah. But that being said, hey, thank you guys very much for tuning in today. We truly, truly appreciate it. It is always a blessing for me when I get to mix it up with you guys on the morning show. And you know, I hope everyone has a great weekend. So be careful out there, trade safe. You know, it's there is some definitely there's some setups out there for you guys to look at. But you know, enjoy the weekend. Go out, touch a little grass, enjoy some time with the family. You know, if you got kids, you know, spend time with them. Definitely pull yourselves away from the charts every once in a while and experience life, right? So, you know, I've been making a big point to do that, and it's been good. It's definitely been good. So, again, love you guys. Thank you for tuning in. Catch Crypto Nightcap Monday through Thursday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with my man FD. We're doing it big over there. The #1 show on Piper Academy. We say we're always messing around with Piper, but you know, again,
I gotta pump those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers in this racket.
That's right. Let's go. So I had to mix it up. Man. We can't do that same pump it's on that everybody has.
I love it.
But yeah, man, it's a blessing being here. Everybody have a great weekend, and I will talk to you Monday.
Awesome. All right, guys. Thanks for joining us today on the Morning Market Report. We will be back here next Monday morning, guys, bringing you guys the news, the markets, the alpha, and everything you need to have knowledge, because knowledge is profit here at Piper Academy. Guys, this weekend, be watching. Might get a little pump off of that China stimulus money coming in tonight. And if it does, trade safe. And as always, guys, if you're going to trade, use a stop loss or have plenty of dry powder. Buck, cough, cough. Guys, we'll catch you later. Have a good Friday and enjoy your weekend. I'll see you guys on Monday.
I don't know what they keep telling me. Ain't no school like Piper Academy. We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling after wheels fall low. I know you hungry for knowledge, that's profit appetite. Classes in session, this for the Army Piper acolytes. Trade flag at the soul, train ready. What a line from OCI, from a Mexican spaghetti. Yo, crunch crypto with a deep dive to reject dime. And if you like the visual powered by Car Prime, then you were part of that alumni, that's all spine. But if you have step, fall back to offline. We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling after wheels fall low. Sound off.
To get with them, the ZTS rhythm. Rip it, Alexandra.
Yeah, that's my alumni. You know what I mean?
That was awesome, dude.